Hi everyone and welcome back to Tea with Jules. Today I'm talking to the lovely Timomatic, who is a singer, songwriter, choreographer, dancer, you name it. This guy does it. He produces his own music. He's so amazing to watch perform and he has such great insightful things to say about life in general. We had a great chat today, so I'm really hoping that you enjoy the chat as much as I did. And if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, please click the link below and subscribe so you don't miss any of the amazing interviews. Timomatic.
Jules.
Jules-o-matic?
I'll take it.
Welcome to Tea with
Thank
Jules.
you. Thanks for having me.
It's so nice to have you.
Appreciate it.
First of all, congratulations on your new single.
Thank you.
It's cool.
Thank you. I
It's
appreciate
really,
it.
really fun.
It is.
It feels like tribal / dancey.
Yes.
I don't know the
I love that. I
that
love
right?
that. Yo,
Tribal /
that's
dancey.
exactly it. Tribal dancing. I wanted to create something that felt stadium status, that felt energetic, but that had elements of my roots.
Yeah.
So I'm Nigerian born. I really, for the last year or so, have been really experimenting with Afro beat infusions with music.
Wow.
So I like
think
the word
you-
infusions. It goes with tea.
I think you nailed that. I
Yeah.
think you nailed it. It's so cool. And the performance you did on Dance Boss the other night was incredible.
thank you.
You are so good.
Thank you.
I've seen you perform live and been in the room and felt your energy, and you are like world class when you
I
when you
appreciate
perform.
that. Thank you very
Your
much.
dancing is ridiculous. Whatever you are doing with your body is insane.
Thank you.
Those flips and turns and tumbles and like
Yeah.
popping and locking, ridiculous.
I'll teach you sometime.
Okay.
If you're game, I'll teach you.
Sure. And then you sing at
Yeah.
the same time. You also write the song and produce it. So, wow, that's a lot. That's a
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So, congrats. Mashup
Yes.
is the single.
Mashup is the single.
So go and listen to it, everyone. It's really cool.
Yeah, and it's I had the chance to co-produce this one with these guys called Project Peters, upcoming guys, and the Nigerian guys. So it's like the first time I've done like a full kind of Nigerian-based song single. It's very special. Yeah, shout out to those boys. They did a really good job as well.
Good on you. Let's talk about where you're from, Nigeria.
Yeah.
What was it like to be
That
Nigerian
was
living in Australia?
In Australia, it was a very interesting time in my life. Growing up, I was in Canberra. We moved to Canberra at the time for my dad. He was the smartest dude I know. He's an academic. So that's how we got over here. It was either here or Chicago, actually.
All right.
We had the choice, and he chose here. Growing up in Australia, I was in pretty much every school I went to. I went to 6 different schools, and I was pretty much the only black kid in
Really?
the school. Yeah. So that was very interesting because I'd be treated differently, especially younger in primary school. Kids weren't used to it. So I'd naturally be treated differently.
How does that make you feel as a kid? I mean, kids are so open and honest and
Yes.
sort of, but then at the same time, when you don't fit in, it's very isolating.
Correct. I grew up as an outsider, so I think when you're an outsider, you're very observant of everything else. I grew up very quiet and introverted.
Right.
Yeah, and you kind of just sit back and watch things kind of happen. But I was very blessed to have parents that instilled very strong self-confidence. You know, they were like, Timothy, you are unique for a reason. and you have to believe in that, and they instilled this thing that it was supposed to be that way, and you're
love
supposed to
it.
stand out.
What good parenting from your mom and dad
Yeah.
to instill that from such a young age.
Yeah, right. And I got to experience later on that their own struggles in the workplace of being different, being African, and being, judged before they even, for what they look like before they even kind of did the work. And my dad was like, being different, being black, you're going to have to work harder so that there's no excuse that people can judge you any different way. And just a passion to thrive amidst adversity or whatever that would come. What happened was, I think 50 Cent happened, like that era. Hip hop just crashed Australia, and I suddenly became very cool. Overnight, it was the weirdest thing.
How old were you at that point?
I was in year 9, so
Okay.
in Darwin.
Yep.
And I used to wear glasses, big glasses. And I walk around and I just get attention
As in
from girls.
sunglasses?
No,
Or like
big
Okay, prescription.
prescription, thick Like, I wear contacts. I am blind as a bat.
Really?
Yeah, I cannot see very well without these. If we did it, we should do a tea with Jules without them. It'd be a whole different interview.
I could be anyone.
I'd be like, so Jules, it's, that's how it was, But that happened, and that was very interesting to experience.
Just instant coolness.
Instant coolness.
And so when did music and entertainment, being a quiet kid, that's not really the path that a quiet kid takes.
Yeah.
Being on stage and being in front of everyone. When did that kind of kick in for you and become something that you knew you wanted to do with your life?
I was exposed to it from the womb, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I feel like in Africa, it's in your bones.
It's in the bones.
It's in your blood.
Yeah.
You just know what a rhythm is.
I'm telling you.
And off you go.
I pretty much came out the womb. It's a thing that is intrinsic to us, and my folks would just always play songs and get around and dance and get up, and so I always knew it was a big part of my life. I think the switch when I was like, this is what I want to do, was about 15, 16, when I would study the work of Michael Jackson, I'd study the work of Usher, people like that, and I was like, I was in Canberra at the time, and Nigerian kid, Australian raised, in Canberra, saying, hey, I think I want to tackle this in this is very weird thing.
That's a lot of obstacles to overcome.
It's a lot. I don't know how, but it was a voice from inside, and I was a terrible singer at that point as well. Yeah, dancing was like water to me. It was just, I saw it, I could do it. It was very weird.
So you didn't need to learn it or have lessons. It just
it was
can do it.
Watching things, watching VHS videos, and just taking it in. And every time there was a mirror, I'd be working it out. My mum was probably not the biggest fan of that. I remember specifically her in the airport going, Timothy, stop, you are embarrassing me. What is this? And I'd just be trying to work it out and do it. But singing did not come naturally. My sisters are amazing singers, and they would remind me how unnatural
that's what sisters are for. Sisters are there to berate.
I like that. I like it. Singing was, I just had to have it. It was a challenge to me, and I was like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. Because I loved what entertainers gave to people, that feeling.
Right.
And I was like, I want to give that in whole feeling of entertainment.
So you saw what Usher was giving you, and you want to give that to somebody
Correct.
else.
I was like, this makes me feel like superhuman.
Yeah.
That's what I want to give. It's a gift. You know what I mean? I want to give that. Yeah. So I just set to doing that, and
How did you get good at singing?
Went to lessons. Just a lot of trial and error. I think the first time I recorded a song, it was like the reveal of like, oh, this is where you're really at. It was very depressing, actually, to be honest. I thought I killed it. I was like, you know what? Run it back. Run that back. And I was nearly in tears. But recording to an artist is like a mirror for a dancer.
Yeah.
You really, see where you're at.
Yep.
And so I just kept doing that and got my own gear, and amongst lessons, just did it, kept doing it.
That's amazing. I love that. So You Think You Can Dance?
Yes.
Is where we first met you.
Yep.
On a public level. Talk me through that. Good times?
Good times. Interesting times. Because at that time, I wanted to become an artist. But my vocals weren't, I was like, ooh, Australian Idol, no way. I was not ready for that.
Because that's just voice.
Just voice. And dancing was a lot more natural to me. So I was like, I got encouraged by a few people. Like, just give it a crack. Get your name out there. Get a foot in the door. That's the step. I did that, and I was horrible at partner dancing. And there's this thing that when you rate low, you have to dance for your life. That was my thing.
Okay.
So I ended up dancing for my life 5 times. I rated low every week I was on. But they're like, damn. I almost would just be stretching. When I'd get the comments back from the judges, I'd be stretching, just getting ready. I'm like, I'm about to solo. So.
And that's when you would get back because you soloed.
Yeah, correct.
Like,
and that's kind of where my name kind of got out, because people are like, this guy can, on his own, he can move.
Yeah.
And then from then I got representation. A guy called Mark Byrne, who was kind of representing people on that show, and he represented Natalie Bassingthwaighte as well. I remember writing to him like, bro, I want to be a singer, man. Like, this is the start of a dance show. I want to sing. That's what he was like, what's wrong with you? You're on a dance show. What are you doing?
Yeah,
we started talking after that.
amazing man who
Incredible.
I knew,
Yeah.
who has since passed
away, yeah.
and he was your manager from that day?
From that day, correct. So 2009, he was the mastermind behind what I, have since become to be. He was just a freak at knowing how things connected and kind of where to push things, and just a lot of trust with that guy. But he just knew the right choices to make, and we really had a bond. And he just believed when no one else did. Like the ripples of his effect on my life and other people's lives, even us talking about him, it's just a powerful legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost my brother. I can't think of something worse
No, absolutely
than losing
devastating.
somebody so close to you. It's so tough
Very
to go
tough.
through.
Very tough.
And something I'm not sure you ever recover from.
It just becomes a part of you because you only feel something that you really love, the loss of something that you really love.
Right.
So I think it gives you a deeper sense of love and what that means and really cherishing what is around. So although very tragic, it adds to you. That's what I feel. As much as it takes away from you, it adds that sense of deeper appreciation for things. That's what it's done for me, and I think after Mark passed, it's been a process, but I've been able to slow down a little bit to really to not just live life for the next thing, but to be in it, to be in what I'm doing. It's very hard for me to show vulnerability. I've found that out about myself. I like to hide things, and I'm still, in a sense, my default is kind of introvert. I like to keep to myself a lot. When things like that happen, I kind of numb out. But I've learned to kind of really express myself a bit more and to just let things be okay if they're not okay. That situation taught me to just, it's life, and it's okay to kind of let things just fall to pieces. The other thing that I learned, I got it tattooed on my chest, actually. Some of all things. Just knowing that no one event defines you. You shouldn't let one event define you. I think, everything, the good and the bad, make for a really wholesome life. It's all things that,
Some of all things.
All things.
I love that.
Yeah.
I could cry.
We're going there, right? What's in this tea? What do you got? What do you got in this? This is chamomile tears. What is this?
Some of all things. I love that. I love that. No, that's so beautiful. I love that you said that. That's so great. What a great thing to know and to level with, that you can't control it all. Can we talk about this musical you're about to be a part of, which is amazing? Cannot wait to see it. Basically, it's the story of Nelson Mandela. There's no greater human that ever existed.
Pretty much, bar Jesus Christ.
Bar Jesus.
That's
of course.
Yeah.
Jesus and Nelson.
It goes like that.
I mean, what an amazing production to be a part of, and as an amazing story you're about to tell people, because Nelson Mandela would have been 100 this year. So it's a celebration of his life. First of all, what's your role in the musical, and what part are you going to play? And second of all, what does Nelson Mandela's mean to your life? Being an African, coming back to your African roots. I mean, the man he literally changed history. Changed history.
Whew. Okay. The role I play a guy called Sam Unatu, and he's an activist in that time, and he spends time in jail with Madiba, with Mandela. So they made characters to kind of really express the story that were pulled from real people, but that it wasn't just necessarily an autobiography. It was to get the message across about Nelson. Nelson really changed the game because he treated jail a lot differently to most people would, for the reasons he got into jail. He had a lot of grace in there and was very, very loving, which is mind-blowing to think about. Being in jail for 27 years. I mean, this is a guy who lost his mum and his son while he was in jail and was not allowed to go to any of their funerals. And he still treated these guards with love and grace. So Sam experiences him in jail, and also Sam has a love interest who is white at the time of apartheid, which is, apartheid was a law that was based on segregation between white people and black people, pretty much making rules that would separate and make sure that black people have no rights and white people have all the rights. So the tension of that is crazy. So I'm really excited to play that out and to support that story. And in terms of what Nelson means to me as a black guy here, I think I grew up with my parents talking about Nelson and experiencing, because it was crazy at the time. Africa would, like, it was all happening in South Africa, but the rest of Africa would all sponsor money for his movement and for what he was doing. Yeah, they'd all put money to the movement because of what he was doing. And I think for me, how it hits me is his dream of having not a black Africa, but a unified Africa where everyone was treated the same. That sense of equality is massive to me here, and growing up and experiencing how I experienced being a black guy here. I just looking at things through the eyes of grace is the main thing I get from Nelson, and I try to do that. That's how you really change the world. Love and grace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you came today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for sharing tea with me.
Appreciate it.